context to another? And if you think it's only uncles on Facebook who stumble over questions of genre, allow me to reach for a whole other can of worms. Wish me luck. Genesis 1. Genesis 1 describes 7 days in which God creates everything from light to trees to humans, and then, in Genesis 2:2, takes up rest. How would someone go about fact-checking this chapter? I can tell you. Some of my atheist friends will happily point out that 1. The sun is allegedly created on the 4th day after plants appear on Earth, but 2. Plants require photosynthesis to live, and so 3. The biblical creation story is impossible. Case closed. Obvious misinformation. The logic, I'll admit, is eminently watertight, but there is a massive missing step. Like the satirical fact-checkers, these folks are assuming an answer to these basic questions. What is this thing that I'm reading, and how does it work? Which conventions for communication apply in this situation? In other words, what genre is Genesis 1? In fairness, though, even professional Bible scholars struggle to agree on which genre box Genesis 1 belongs in, which is surprising, or even a little embarrassing, given that it's page 1 of the Bible and already we can't even decide if what we are reading is poetry or narrative. Some say elevated prose or narrative, others say poetry, while still others say poetic prose or prosaic poetry. And that's before we consider options like mytho-historical discourse or cosmic temple inauguration liturgy. Whatever we decide about the genre of Genesis 1 will influence the way we read the text. What exactly does create mean? What significance should we put on the repetition of keywords like day? What kinds of truth claims about the world are being made? And how do they relate to our scientific questions? Is the sequence of days determined by chronological or thematic concerns? And what does the text want us as readers to do with this information? We are so used to making instant genre designations, satire, news article, novel, parking ticket, that we often jump to genre conclusions when reading old books. This is especially true with a great work of literature we are very familiar with, like the Bible. Reading the Bible a certain way just feels natural to us. It's the plain reading of the text. Perhaps we aren't even aware that we are reading it as something, but then something jumps out that just doesn't fit what we were expecting. We read that God made plants on day 3 and humans on day 6, Genesis 1:11-26. But then we barely turn the page and read that God made humans before the plants, 2:5-7. Perhaps the Bible is broken, or more likely, perhaps our assumptions about the genre of this text weren't quite right, and we got off on the wrong foot in the beginning. Complex, isn't it? We will return to Genesis 1 in chapter 8, but for the moment, I just want to observe that genre has a lot to answer for. I think most of our big disagreements about the Bible begin as unconscious disagreements about genre. Genre is as vital to interpretation as it is tricky to nail down. Genre creates confusion and makes reading unpredictable as we struggle to read texts from long ago whose genres have disappeared from current usage. The gift of genre. At the same time, genre is a gloriously productive gift. Genres offer us an endless variety of experiences as readers. Genre is the reason we have poems as well as parking tickets. Genre is the reason we can be confronted with hard truths about ourselves in the fictional world of a novel, then pick up a scientific journal and marvel at entirely different kinds of truths. Genre enriches our experience of literature, but it also enriches our knowledge of God. Genre is part of how God has revealed himself. We have in the Bible more than one kind of scripture. It is too small a thing for God to reveal himself in one genre only. He has made his light shine through all manner of genres. Would we truly understand his faithfulness if we couldn't witness his unwavering character and undivided commitment to humanity throughout the narratives? Could we feel the full force of his passionate love and indignant anger without the brutally vivid poetry of the prophets? Would monotheism and the abhorrence of idolatry have made it from head to stubborn heart without the creative repurposing of vassal treaty and marriage covenant? What would love your neighbour mean to us without the detailed case studies of Exodus or the parables of the Gospels? These, by the way, are rhetorical questions. But you knew that already. Why? That's right.